Hey there, thanks for stopping by. My name is Hamza Zawali. I'm a career coach, and today we're going to be talking about career change. So first of all, which one and how? Okay, this is what we're going to be tackling. So please feel free to share, comment, to even like, obviously, if you feel that there's value for you throughout this video. So without further ado, let's begin. So the three challenges that we are going to tackle are, number one, the confusion, because oftentimes we know that we're not very happy where we are, but we're confused about where to go. So this is the number one thing we're going to be tackling. Number two is tackling paralysis, because we're going to identify obstacles, but oftentimes these obstacles keep us, paralyzed. We just don't do anything because of, sometimes we have a mortgage, so we can't accept a certain level of salary in order to change career, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things that actually can be in people's life that are keeping them paralyzed. Number three, we are also going to tackle how to be sure. How do you know for sure that this is the right career move? Because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where after 1 or 2 years you're like, oh my god, what have I done? That would be a waste, absolute waste, of course. So these are the three challenges we're going to be tackling. So number one, I'm going to ask you a series of why. What is your why? What is your why? What do I mean by why? First of all, why do you want to change your career? In fact, what came first? Oftentimes, as a career coach, I have a lot of people that come to me and say, hey, Hamza, I'm unemployed for the past 6 months. I want to get back to work. Want you to do my CV, and I want you to, I want to do something completely different. Okay, I want to change my career. I don't like this. I don't like that. I want to change my career. And I always ask them, why do you want to change your career? Because I don't like sales. I don't like sales, let's say. Okay, and tell me about, your previous job. So you didn't like any of it, you didn't like the first week, and at the end I asked them a few questions to identify whether their dislike came before the average results, i.e., as soon as they started, on the second day, they hated everything about this job. They didn't know anything about it before they even know their manager, or is it that they knew their manager, the bad management, and made them dislike their job, made them dislike this field, this sector? Is it the average results? Sometimes people don't have good results. And of course, you can't like something you are mediocre at. And it's very important to understand what came first. If the mediocre results came first and then you dislike the job, then you should focus on training, on self-discipline, on practice, on improving your results. Because the worst mistake that you can do is to think that you should be doing something else when in fact you shouldn't. When in fact you're on the right place, you just need a bit of training. You just need a bit of, performance coaching. Okay, so that's very important. After, I will tell you, if that's the case, then please remember the first and best victory is to conquer self. That's from Plato. So the very difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, it's not like, successful people and unsuccessful people, when it comes to easy tasks or tasks that they enjoy doing, even if they're complex, but they enjoy doing it, both would do them. Okay, so that's not the difference between successful and unsuccessful. The difference between success and no success and failure is that when unsuccessful people don't want to do something, or they find a task that's not nice, that they dislike, success is about doing the things that you don't want to do as well. Okay, there's no job that is perfect where you're going to have a series of tasks that you're going to be enjoying. No, actually there's going to be a big portion of tasks that you're not going to enjoy, like an angry customer, like admin tasks, whatever you dislike is going to be part of your job as well. So you can't have a job where you're just enjoying, because that wouldn't be called a job. It would be called a game. Okay, and that's very important that you realize this, that hey, hang on a minute, I'm not, if my criteria is that I hate sales because I don't like cold calling, then I'm gonna tell you right now that's not the right way to think about sales, because it's about, if you start being successful at cold calling, if you start being more successful, if you start generating the revenue, if you start hitting your target, if you start changing people's lives by selling them the services, the products, or whatever, then chances are you're going to understand that cold calling is a necessary evil in order for you to be fulfilled, in order for you to bring to to serve others with your products, services, or whatever. And that's very, very important. So it's not because you don't like a task that recurring task that you should say to yourself, okay, I need to change my job. I don't like cold calling. No one likes cold calling. Find me someone that likes cold calling. Okay, that's just an example, of course, but there's always going to be elements in every single job that you are going to dislike. So the more you're going to run away from what you don't like, you're going to find something else you don't like. That's just as easy as that. So don't fall into this trap. I've seen it many, many times. Unemployed or employed people trying to find their way into a new job, and when they finally get it, you know what, after 1 or 2 years they feel demotivated as well. There's other things that they don't like, and they start comparing it. They miss the previous job as well. Remember the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Successful people, when it comes to tasks they don't like, they do it anyway. Unsuccessful people, when they don't like the task, they try to procrastinate, they try to avoid it, they try to negotiate their way to, avoid doing it, etc., etc. Don't be like that. That's the difference between success and unsuccessful. Eat That Frog is a book from Brian Tracy that I highly recommend. It's just about starting your day with the worst thing, with the things that, obviously the frog, with the thing that you dislike the most, that is the hardest, etc., because you will start having a sense of achievement, in the middle of your day, in the middle of your morning, because you've accomplished the hardest thing, the thing that you dislike the most. And it's not going to be nagging in your mind anymore. So you're going to develop different habits. And you know what? The difference between successful and unsuccessful people is also habits. You'll find that successful people have good habits, have successful habits. So be aware that, if you plan on changing your career, don't make it performance-based. If it's performance-based, if you started disliking your job because you're not getting the results, also because a manager, etc., that's not a good reason to change your career. You can change your company because your manager is bad. You can get some training in order to work on this, but the first and best victory is to conquer self. So even things that you don't like, you can change that. Okay, you can do them anyway, you can do them again and again, because it's oftentimes the sacrifice that's necessary in order to, you need to climb the mountain in order to reach its peak. You need to go through the pain of running a marathon. Even if you love running, you have to go through the pain of running a marathon. Sometimes the wind is against you, sometimes a lot of things. If you want these six packs, you want to go to the gym and sweat, and work hard. So every single job is going to have its load of, things that people don't like. The difference between success and failure is that successful people really go for the things they don't like. Don't focus on the things that you don't like in order for you to determine that, hey, you know what, I'm going to change my career. You're never going to find a job where you like all the tasks. It's called a game, okay? A game is not a job, okay? That's very, very important. Now, next, are you sure? So we talked about this. What do you love the most about your career right now? I know people are very, very vocal about what they don't like, but I'm asking you the opposite question. What do you like the most about your career right now? There's definitely something you like. And keep asking yourself, what else? Because this is extremely important. This is extremely important data. You don't want to sort of, erase all this and start afresh from start without previous data. Historical data is experience, is what you like and dislike is going to be used for you to make the right choice now. It's very important, okay? So what do you like the most? But also, what do you not like and why? I want you to dig in a little bit here. Remember, if you say you don't like cold calling, I would say, okay, fine. I mean, if you're not good at cold calling, if you're constantly failing at cold calling, if you don't have the techniques, you can't love something you are mediocre at. It doesn't work like this. You've got to be good at something in order to start liking a task, okay? So it's very, very important. Be very, very careful about this, okay? Why then have you chosen this career? Why did you sign this contract? Why did you say yes to this employer? Why did you start with this company? Why? I mean, is it that that was the only job you found at the time? Is it that, what is it? Because if it was the only job you found, I would say, hang on. So did you create a CV that was actually perfect for that kind of job? So maybe the issue here is to look at is also the CV, rewriting your CV so that it brings people to understand that you can do something different. Okay, and how is it different from the job you've imagined? So before signing a contract, before starting this job you're in now, or the career you're in now, how did you imagine it to be? You see, as students, we have dreams and we imagine that we're going to be doing this and doing that and doing this. And then when we start working, it's a different reality that sets in. We realize that there's tons of tasks that we don't like. There's tons of people we don't like. Sometimes they're called managers. And, you know, very quickly, the dream becomes reality. Sometimes the difference is not too big. And sometimes the difference is massive. So how is it different? How did you imagine it? And if you imagined it this way, is it based on your own imagination or is it based on facts and data? Did you speak to people that work in that field? Several people or just your friend, just your dad? Who did you speak to? So you see, it's very important that we don't do the same mistakes again. So you see, if you fell into a job you don't like, if you fell into a career you don't like, understand the mistakes you have done before. Okay, if you only imagined it to be like this, then I'm going to say, well, maybe you didn't do your market study. Maybe you didn't do your research properly. Maybe you didn't speak to enough people and ask them the right question. You see, type of question I would ask someone that, you know, has a job I think I want. I would tell him, okay, tell me about the pros and cons. What do you like the most? What do you hate the most? How long does it take to be at this level? What kind of salary? And what can you expect? Etc. etc. Okay, very important. Can you define success in your own words? Can you describe what success means? What a successful career means? Now, I want you to project yourself in the future here in 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now and think, hang on, if I consider myself successful, what does it mean? Oftentimes we look for success, but we don't know what we are looking for. Just a word doesn't mean anything. You see, in order for you to start a path, to start going through, you know, obstacles and everything, and for years, please identify your destination. Please feel free to identify your destination before you actually start the trip. Otherwise, you'll be going nowhere. And after a few years' time, you'll be calling a coach like myself or anyone else and saying, I just don't know. I don't know if I don't know, I'm confused. Yeah, but determine the destination. What is success to you? According to you, why have you not achieved success yet? So for example, if success for you is actually, you know, having enough money on the side to be able to choose whether you want to work or not, or to choose where to live or whatever, then it's going to influence your choice of what job you want to be doing. But if, for example, success is about serving others in whatever, and you feel like, wow, I saved that many people's life, or I work in environment, sustainability, in whatever, I help improve people's life. You know, what's your success? How many people do you want to help? How many? Try to quantify this as much as possible. And when you define success, watch out for illusions. Watch out for illusions. These are evil. So you see, what I call illusions and ego is, for example, ego is basically status. So for example, for me success is when I become a doctor. For me success is when I become a CEO that earns that much money, or whatever. That is not success. You know, once you're a doctor, do you think that after 20 years being a doctor, you're going to say, oh, I'm still a doctor, I love it, yeah. No, it's not going to work like this. That's called ego, it's status. So beware of illusions. And illusions sometimes are reflected by our own environment. We see someone that's happy because he's doing such and such job, he's driving a plane, for example, whatever, and it feels like he's happy until you ask him pros and cons, until you actually dig a little bit deeper. So watch out for illusions and ego. What impact do you want to have in people's life? What do you want your career to create for others? Okay, your career is only a tool. It's not an end by itself. It's only a means to an end. And that's very, very important that you understand that a career is only a tool for you to actually serve others. Because the truth is, fulfillment is in the service of others. Fulfillment is in the service of others. Think about the time where you've helped a friend financially or whatever, and you say, or you saved a marriage, or you've done something amazing. Don't you still feel proud that you did that? Are you not still fulfilled with whatever you did? Of course you are, because fulfillment is in the service of others. You see, what we have to understand, what we have to define as success is that career success is a fulfillment. Career success is about being fulfilled. It's about feeling that our work counts, that our work matters for others, that it impacts positively other people's work. There's a factory worker. He's a leader actually of the factory, and he saw a decrease in motivation and productivity with all his factory workers. And he thought, hang on a minute, what do? We do recycling papers. We recycle paper all day in, day out. Of course it's boring. So, he started putting posters on not recycling paper, but he said, hey, we save 1,130 trees every single month and counting. ... He started communicating about the impact that it has on others, about the impact of people's job. And of course, it increased retention, staff retention, it increased productivity, increased motivation. Do you think it made people happier, more fulfilled? Yes. You've got to connect this with that. That's very, very important. Career fulfillment, career success is in the service of others. The moment you connect that, then suddenly everything makes sense. Then you're part of this amazing universe, amazing system where everyone serves everyone. Like in nature where everything serves everything. In man's world, we have to reach that thing where we serve others. We don't serve ourselves. Unfortunately, we're brainwashed from a very young age. The question that we are asked is, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do? How much you want to work? What sector you want to work in? No. Who do you want to help? What problems do you want to solve? These are questions that make people happy. These are questions that make people happy. The very reason you love a game, a sport, is the problems, the challenges that you like to tackle, even if it's hard. You see? And that, my friend, is amazing. Is absolutely amazing. How will your career help others in a way that brings smile to you for years? That should be your only yardstick for success. Okay? Number 2, identify your talent. Because it's not because you serve others. It's not because you serve others that you're going to be happy. In order for you to reach your full potential, you need to work in your talent zone. Unfortunately, we are brainwashed again from young age that you need to think about your talent as a sector, an industry, a job. So for example, hey, I'm sure you'd be good at selling. Hey, I'm sure you'd be good at marketing. Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? Oh, I want to work in procurement. So as if procurement is a talent. No, it's not. In fact, the very truth is you can do so many jobs because your talent doesn't fit a box. You see, we all have several talents. 1 or 2 of them are very, very strong. Very, very strong. Okay? And this is what we're going to be talking about now. Okay, so I want you to really focus. I know this presentation is obviously 19 minutes now. So please, focus on what's coming because this is really important. We said serving others, but number 2, I need you to find your talent. Your talent is not a job, an industry, or a sector. There's 3 questions that I usually ask my clients to discover their talent. Okay, what do you do the best with the least amount of effort? What do you do the best with the least amount of effort? There's so many things that people are so quick about. You see, for example, myself, accounting. I genuinely hate accounting. It takes me ages to do the simplest thing. Okay, so for me, it's a pain. Okay, mechanics. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Okay, but what do you do the best for the least amount of effort? Oh, I love talking to people. I love, selling. I love convincing people. I love that. I do it without preparation. I do it with the least amount of effort. You see, and you want to find this talent zone because right now, there's so many things. You see, when I identify this talent zone, there's so many jobs that could work for me, okay? Not just a sales job, okay? When do you experiment a state of flow? When do you experiment a state of flow? The flow is this state of mind when you actually, when suddenly time is no longer felt. When you are so focused into whatever task that you forget about time. When you feel that not only you're focused, but you are so efficient, effective. It's like your brain works at a much faster pace. You're in the zone, in the flow. And that state is found in so many fields, in so many things that you do, okay? And I want you to understand, when do you experience a state of flow? When is it that you do something and then you realize, oh, wow, I've been doing this for 40 minutes and I didn't see the time go by and I don't feel, hungry if I'm hungry or whatever. And that, my friend, is a good indication of where your talent zone is, because you clicked with your talent zone. You clicked with your DNA, and that's powerful. Okay, what challenges do you love to solve? That's the same thing. What do you love to solve? You see, there's many things that I can't be bothered to solve, but there's other things that I love to solve. Someone that's unemployed, a business that's failing, that's not picking up. I love to solve those challenges. It makes me alive. This is where I'm going to experience a state of flow. This is what I'm going to do with the least amount of effort, because I love it. And you see how here I connect my energy, my emotions with my brain. Everything works, synchronically. And that's amazing. Synchronized, okay? So first, you've got to dig out that talent. You've got to really answer these questions with a pen and paper and start analyzing. Hang on, it looks like I'm good at this, at that, etc., etc. There's also other things, by the way. You can go through a Myers-Briggs type of test that will really help you bring about your personality, your particular trait, what you're strong in, etc., etc. All these tests are online. Some of them are paid, some of them are not paid, but you can go through them as well. Just type in personality test or aptitude test or whatever, Myers-Briggs as well, etc., etc. So first, unearth your talent. Just make sure it's now visible. Don't cruise your way through life, your career, thinking, oh, there's things that I enjoy, things that I don't enjoy. Oh, I wonder why is that? Try to be very, very decisive, very, very meticulous, defined about what your talent is, okay? Number two is, once you're going to find it, you know what? It's not going to be like, oh, perfect, I've got my talent, now I'm going to be a rock star. No, you're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to work hard to actually polish, sharpen that talent. Only then it will shine in a way that will inspire others, in the way that it will serve others. Remember we said serving others, what's your why? That is powerful when you find your talent. In fact, your talent, finding your talent, is the door to your full potential. Once you do that, but even if you've got so many talented people that are not working on their talent, let me tell you something. You show me a hard-working individual and a talented individual. The hard-working individual will destroy the talented individual if the talented individual is not working hard. Period. Working hard is that sharpening of that diamond. You have a diamond, sharpen it. It's very, very important. You've got people that are not talented in whatever field, but they're working hard, is going to do a better job, help them perform better, and serve more people than people that are talented but lazy. How many people that are talented that go to sport or skip some sport practice, football practice or whatever you like? So many. They get cocky. Remember we said, be careful of ego and illusion. The fact that you have some facilities, you have you do things easier than other things, and you feel like you're talented, you're good, least amount of effort, state of flow, etc. doesn't mean that you should just leave that diamond raw. You should sharpen it with sweat, blood and tears. Okay, that's very, very important. Working in your talent zone is the door to your full potential. And I say the door because you need to work hard for that. And then analyze the gap. Now I have my why. I know who I want to serve. I connected it with my talent. You see, I love doing that. It's not pain to me. It's not a job for me. I love those problems. I experience state of flow. I enjoy that. Then everything is ignited now. But between where you are right now and where you want to be, there's a gap. There's a gap because when you change your career, well, you have developed a certain amount of experience, CV, that may be inadequate to where you want to take it next. So remember this, the only condition to convince anyone in the world, in sales, in whatever, okay, is that the value that you're communicating needs to exceed the effort that you are asking. So if I'm buying something, I'm obviously going to go through an effort to pay for that thing. But if the value of what I'm buying exceeds the effort, the price, the sacrifice here, then I'm going to do it. But if I feel the value, you know, that I'm getting is less than the price that I'm going to be paying, I'm not going to buy that item. Okay? So it's the same thing with convincing someone, politicians or whoever. If you are in a situation where the value, you're asking them to work hard, to answer questions, to do this, let me tell you something. If you watch this video and you don't answer these questions, you don't take a pen and paper, because that is effort. It means that I didn't communicate the value of doing that well enough. I didn't communicate that doing that for an hour can save you years, can explode your full potential, can make you happy, can make you change people's life forever for 1 hour. If you didn't understand that, then you're not going to go through all of these questions that we went through. Well, you're not going to dig deep into what makes you happy. You're going to allow other employers, other people decide what you should be doing and how your career is going to be used for. Take control. Value should exceed effort also for employers. You see, for employers, they're the one paying you, they're the one training you, they're the one taking a chance, they're the one doing all this. Okay, so you've got to imagine that it's not easy. What effort are you asking a potential employer? I have a procurement / accountant, ex-client of mine, friend now, who, you know what? She wants to do interior designer. She wants to become an interior designer. It has nothing to do with it. And we can easily identify the gap here. It is a huge gap. So what effort are you asking a potential employer? A potential employer could be her own clients that she has to find, and this is her effort to find and convince. But at the same time, clients want to see portfolios, they want to see past projects. They're not going to give you their money just like that. So what effort are you asking your clients to do? And then bridge that gap. Remember, the client, the employer, he doesn't know you. You've never, you know, you're new. Risk that you won't be able to perform well. Of course, if he gives you a salary, money, or as a client he gives you money for a project, he's taking the chance that you're not going to be performing well because you don't have any history. Okay, the time necessary to train you, maybe if he's an employer, he's thinking, oh God, it's going to take me at least 2 or 3 months in order to train that person. Okay, the time you need to be a return on investment. Of course, an employer will always think about a return on investment. I'm going to pay this person a salary a certain amount of time, but hopefully I will get my money back when something happens. Okay, so with productivity, etc., etc., there's always a timeline between investment and return on investment. So the time you need to have a return on investment for employers, you know, it's extremely important to consider that as also a gap. The risk that you'll change your mind again. Of course, someone that changes his or her mind, well, what makes you believe he's not going to change his mind anyway? It's very important that you go through this video and you can reassure someone with that, because you know, finding my why, who do I serve, plus my talent zone is powerful wise. That will reassure, by the way, any employer. Okay, so make sure you rewatch this video. And please, if I'm saying anything that's valuable to you, if you identify to anything, if it's really not a waste of your time, please like this video. So what are you ready to sacrifice? Of course, this friend of mine, I told her, well, you're going to have to perhaps work for a few clients on a few projects for free. If you love it, what's the big deal? You do that on your spare time. You do that on your spare time. You do that during weekends. It doesn't matter. You do what you have to do. Okay? How long can you wait until you get an opportunity? How many clients can you serve for free until you have enough experience to get an opportunity with an employer, with a client that pays you? It's very, very important. Life is a cycle. Sometimes you need to start a new cycle. And you know what? A cycle starts low and then it grows. There's always a curve, right? There's always a curve. The bell curve of your career is like this, okay? And you know what? Sometimes we are this because we don't enjoy it anymore. We had some time where we enjoyed it, we were doing well, but now we just don't see any future. And the only thing you have to do is start a new curve, a new bell curve. That's all. So there's always a price to pay. You've got to say to yourself, okay, now I know what I want to do. I'm 100% confident. I spoke to people that are doing that. I know the pros and cons. Now, you know what? I'm going to be studying. Price to pay. I'm going to be working for free during weekends. I'm going to be learning from someone. I'm going to be paid less maybe than what I'm currently earning. I'm going to start all over from scratch, but it's a cycle. It's temporary. If you are in your talent zone, you are going to achieve your full potential. If you love this job, you're going to be amazed at how it brings life, joy, and money to your career. You see, money is only a reflection of how much value you bring to other people's life. So if you're in a situation where you're adding a lot of value to people's life, you are going to be earning money. Trust me, okay? Money is only a measure of how much value you add in other people's life, for employers, clients, etc., etc. Okay? Number 4, positioning yourself. So this is really important because now you understand your gap. Okay, fine. You're ready to sacrifice. You understand there is going to be a price to pay for everything you do in life. In order for you to do what you've done so far, you had to study. You had to go through, being a student, start as a junior, not earning much. That was your price to pay. Maybe you had to leave, your parents, the country, etc., etc. Okay, the best way to change your career is within the same company, by the way. Within the same company. Because people know you. So many of these gaps that we talked about are no longer there because, people know you. They know your performance. They know your attitude. They have a relationship with you. They are more inclined to give you a shot in a new department under a new manager because your current manager is referring you. Starting a new job from scratch and asking an unknown person to actually give you a chance is much harder. It's not impossible. It's not impossible if, for example, you start really developing the networking aspect of a job search. So networking is really the art of generating contacts, right? So if you're able to generate these contacts and to work on your elevator pitch and you have a few clients that you're serving for free, you're not going to say you're serving them for free, but you can show them some of the results, then this is how you're going to be successful. Informational interviews, because that increases your network, but also it helps you understand the ins and outs of this job, okay, the pros and cons. So in order for you to actually know for sure, you need to speak to people. Remember, we need to do that research, that deep research, so that we don't find ourselves in 1 or 2 years, oh my God, what have I done? I hate it. Okay. Number 2, every job has a different aspect. Put forth the right aspect. You see, on your CV, you don't have to write the description of your experience the same way as the job description, okay? You can literally do anything you want on your CV. So for example, if I'm a business development specialist, okay, and I decided that perhaps I want to go into procurement. I'm making this up now, okay? I want to go into procurement. So you see, in a business development role, I'm going to have, of course, those cold calls, those client meetings, etc., etc. But I'm also going to have negotiation, contracts. I'm also going to have, aspects of, the job that are going to be transferable to the procurement role, because procurement is also about negotiating the best contracts, about, doing the admin work, etc., etc. So that is extremely, extremely important as well. Every single job has different aspects. Understand the different aspects. Usually a job is 3-dimensional. It rests on 3, solid pillars, okay? Identify these pillars and you'll identify, 1 or 2 pillars that could be used, put forth. These are the sentences on your CV that you put above all of the others, or that you want more visible. This is the window of your shop, if you will. It's the same thing. If my role is business development specialist, Okay, maybe between bracket, I'm just going to be adding things like, see, I'm bridging the gap here. I'm trying to, optimize everything I do so that I achieve where I want to go faster. Okay, so if I aim at procurement, maybe I'm going to add next to business development specialist, in charge of contracts and whatever. It could be admin, it could be, so I'm just basically going to add a little bit of that so that people pay attention not only to my job title but also to what I said between brackets. So you see, I'm going to use all sorts of ways to actually bridge that gap, to reduce that gap between where I want to go and where I am now. Okay, charities, you see, this is a place where there's not much competition. Now hang on, there's not much salary, I give you that, but there's not much competition either. Unfortunately, charities usually are really starving for talent, for volunteers, so this is a place where you can get a lot of experience, etc., etc. Online courses, you've got to educate yourself. You can't just say, oh, I've got a talent in this and not educate yourself. You've got to push and be certified. My wife, for example, you know what? She was a nurse, a certified nurse, only to realize that she absolutely hated that. It was not her at all. And then she fell in love with teaching. And, she had to go through certifications. And it lasted, I think, 3 years of working and studying and having children, but she did it. It was the price she had to pay. Okay, so the first job that she had was so, paid so lowly, but now after that, she became really, really good at that. Okay, startups. There's so many meetups, for example, of entrepreneurs where entrepreneurs are just by themselves or just a team of entrepreneurs, trying to do something. And you know what? They don't have the money to afford this or that, so their budget is limited. Use them as an experience. Use them as a launch pad to your career. Okay, make sure this they're going to be part of your track record. I've helped so and so and so and so and so and so with whatever you decide to go to. Okay, also set up your own company. Sometimes setting up your own practice. So for example, you can be if no one wants to give you a chance as being a trainer, for example, well, just set up a freelance company as a trainer and start working for a few clients for free and see how it goes. Get some social proof, some feedback, some testimonials from these clients, and you see that before long you'll have your own clients as a trainer. And you see, it's not just about finding a job. Sometimes you want to think outside the box here and give yourself the job that you want. Okay, so keep that in mind. And 7, create your blog, because when you create your blog in a very specific, unique way, you are attracting the right people, the right eyeballs into this blog. But plus, you can interview the right people in your industry. That increases obviously point number 1, which is the networking. You can do a lot of things with a blog. Okay, so that attracts a lot of things. So these elements have to be combined, not all of them, but you've got to take these ingredients and mix them up and see how it goes, right? And because each ingredient is good, but when you mix up several ingredients, you get much more, actually. We get momentum, okay? So that's how you bridge the gap. There's always 3 circles that you have to keep in mind. At the very center of these 3 circles, where they cross, the 3 of them cross, this is where your dream job is. And oftentimes people have these 3 circles completely disconnected. They have one that's small, one that's big, but they don't cross and they don't feel happy at all. Okay, this is my 3 circles theory that I use to help businesses set up, etc., etc., and also to help people be happy and fulfilled in their career, to help them find jobs. It's always these 3 circles. So in the topic that we have today, you want to always be in a position of being attractive. Being attractive means that the people that you want to work for needs to be attracted by you. You can go and run after them, but they will tend to run. You can send them emails, but they will tend to ignore you. They will tend to run away, okay? But you can become attractive. So for example, creating a blog is attractive. Knowing people in common is attractive. Helping others is attractive for free. Having social proof, testimonials is attractive. This is your marketing, because the very definition of marketing is attracting potential customers. Then you've got to convince them. then you've got to use everything you know, your passion, your energy to convince them. Now, if you're not good at going through job interviews and you want to go through, obviously, a career change, look, if you have one opportunity as a job interview and you miss it because you're not prepared, you're not ready to sell yourself properly, or if you go to a networking event but your elevator pitch sucks, please don't miss this opportunity. These are the one-off opportunities that you're gonna get. Don't miss them. Put all the chances on your side. Wherever you are in the world, there's always going to be a coach that can help you, that can support you to actually shine in these opportunities. You see, most people have opportunities, they just spoil them. They just, improvise through these opportunities, okay? And then deliver. And then deliver. Deliver the work that you love to do. Deliver solve the problems that you love to solve. Show them what passion means. And that, my friend, brings opportunity. So the connection between attracting the right opportunity, the right people, and convincing them brings opportunities to you. The connection between convincing them and delivering the work creates an impact in people's life. Remember, we said that should be what success means for a career, okay? And you know what? That is also going to be used as a reputation. You see, when we talked about social proof, testimonials, that's your reputation, that's your personal brand. This works as a circle. This works as a circle. It just never stops, never stops, never stops, okay? And that is really where I always identify whether people are doing the right thing or not. So always think about, if you're not moving, just draw these circles and say, okay, what am I doing in each circle? You see, I've had a few opportunities to discuss what I want to do, but sometimes somehow they didn't get back to me. Chances are your selling circle is not where it should be. It's not crossing with the others. It's not big enough, okay, etc., etc. If you're not having any opportunity at all, chances are your marketing, your attracting sort of strategy, your attractiveness strategy is not great, okay? Always think about these three circles. Sometimes we are in the middle of the picture, and there's a saying that says, it's hard to see the big picture when we are in the frame. Hopefully this video has allowed you to get out of the frame a little bit and to see things with a different perspective. That's my hope. If so, please leave a comment. I've worked obviously a little bit for you to have that, and that would be such a fulfillment for me, actually, because I love helping people just like you that are wondering where they can have the biggest impact in the world. And that, my friend, is a life well lived, is a career well worked, is a good choice. It's worth going through all this. I know it's difficult, but it's worth it, because once you find the right tune, life becomes a symphony, right? Please be very, very aware of this, okay? You deserve this big time. So remember, the three challenges that we said we're going to cover are confusion, are you sure? So hopefully now you understand that it's being at the service of others and working my talent zone. If these two are met, you can be sure that this is the right thing you should be doing, okay? Number two, and of course, confusion is also, you've got to be careful about, there's so many tasks, I don't like cold calling, I don't like admin. Look, that's not a good reason to change your job or to change your career. Remember, there's always going to be tasks you dislike. Doing this video I like, but the preparation before, oh God, it's hard. Tackling paralysis, you see, there's always a price to pay. Remember, there's a price to pay. You've got, we've mentioned 7 key points that you can start doing, from networking to setting up your own company, creating your blog, to working for free, charities, etc., that are going to allow you to bridge the gap, to overcome these challenges. You can do this on part-time, during the evenings, during weekends, etc. If you really want to do this, give yourself this opportunity. Pay the price. There's always a price to pay. Nothing is free. You've got to invest in order to get a return. So there's no way you just ask someone to trust you blindly without actually doing those certifications, you've got to go towards your dream. If you don't, it's not going to happen. And when it comes to sort of salary and levels, etc., you can set up your own company. Look, you can literally decide how much you want to earn. You just need to say, okay, this is how much I want to earn. So in order for me to be able to earn that, I need that many clients, and that would keep me busy for that many hours in the month, and that's fine. If that works, then bingo, you've got a job that makes money. But maybe the first 6 months you're going to have to take on a few things for free in order to learn the ropes, maybe certifications, maybe invest actual money into a coach, into a certification, a degree, or whatever. Okay, go ahead. You know, remember the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Unsuccessful people, when they don't want to do something, they don't do it. Successful people, when they don't want to do something, they don't want to go through the certification, working for free, all this, they don't do it. Successful people do it. Successful people do it anyway, even if they don't want it. Even if they don't want it. Keep this in mind. And finally, how to be sure, remember the flow. When you're experimenting, flow often. When it's a joy to work, when you love solving the problem, when you're doing whatever you're doing with the least amount of effort, you, my friend, are onto a winner. You, my friend, I think have found that right tune, and things are going to start singing around you. Things are going to start connecting, because you're going to feel how much value you add in people's life. You know, whether you want to do interior design or whatever, it's about serving others. So you see, it's a combination. The mind is connected to the heart, and you know, your talent zone, the flow, needs to also connect to serving others, because that's the definition of a successful career at the end of the day. You're never going to say, you know, at 60 years old, you're never going to say, oh, I've spent my career, you know, experiencing flow. No, that is awesome in order to unlock your full potential. That's your talent zone. You identified it, and that's fine. But when it comes to what you want to be saying at 60 is how many people you served, how you helped. You know, the best CEOs, the best people, they will always say, hey, how I treated my employees, how I brought this company from here to here, how basically about tangible results for others, how I created jobs, how etc, etc. Okay, I hope this makes sense, and I hope this was useful. You know, if you have any questions, obviously don't hesitate. That's completely okay. I actually enjoy you know, reading some of your comments, so don't hesitate. Again, my name is Hamza Zawali. Feel free to comment, share, like, and subscribe to my channels, you know, on YouTube. You can join us also on our Facebook group. This is where I do my live videos. You just go to Name Your Career. You can connect with me, contact me on nameyourcareer.com, and that's pretty much it. Listen, it's been an honor serving you as always, and thank you so much. If you're following me, if you're subscribing to my channel, it means the world to me. It motivates me to do even more videos. I hope this was helpful. Please don't keep it for yourself. Share it with the people you love. Share it with the people that you want to succeed. It's not the most perfect video, but I hope that it's really going to put you on the right track. I hope everything is going to go your way, that you're going to find your tune, and life is going to be that symphony that you dream of. So listen, thank you so much once again. My name is Hamza, and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.